Hey, welcome in again to GoBlueRaiders.com as we count down the first pitch of Blue Raider baseball. Coach Jim McGuire is here. Yesterday we talked pitching. You can find that on YouTube and on the GoBlueRaiders.com website. Today we're going to talk about the other side. We're going to talk about offense. We're going to talk about the everyday lineup, and let's talk about the lineup around the field first of all. And you're a prodigy of Coach Steve Peterson, and with Pete, you're always going to be solid up the middle.
Right, and that's what we want to be. And I think we'll be as solid up the middle as we've been in a long time. And, you know, when you have three seniors, three guys that all played last year, it all starts Michael Atkins behind the plate, really basically is a 4-year starter for us back there and, should command everything and the respect of the pitching staff and run the show for us there. And then up the middle, at shortstop and second base, I think we'll be as good as anybody in the conference with Dustin Delgado at short and Austin Bryan at second. And those two could interchange and flip and whatever we needed to do. They're both that good defensively and offensively too.
Yeah, speaking of that, how is Dustin's health? Because his injury in the conference tournament was just devastating to this team a year ago.
It really was. I mean, that destroyed us in the conference tournament. When he went down, we were a totally different team. As a leadoff guy, getting on base, making things happen, and then one of the most steady infielders in the league. I'm not saying he's the flashiest guy, but he really, really played well for us, and we were totally different without him. Even though I know Austin can go over and play shortstop at any time, those two are really, really good. But he's healthy now. The ankle's better, and I think he'll be a full go when we start. Here coming up to open the season. But those three guys are going to be the catalyst of what we do. And then in center field, Ronnie Jababi, who is Ryan Stevens' younger brother, who transferred to us from Columbia State, plus runner in the outfield, can really run them down out there, and tremendous speed. And, offensively, he's come along okay. Hopefully before the season's over, he'll be towards the top of the lineup. He'll be more middle to the bottom right now to start. But I really like where we are defensively, but the core of what we're trying to do, the middle is going to be very strong.
All right, left and right sides now.
Left and right sides, in the outfield. Offensively, everything is going to be centered around Jared Allen. All-conference player last year. Preseason Conference USA again, led the conference in home runs. He'll play left or right. He can play either one. He'll probably start the season in left, but tremendous power potential, and he'll be the catalyst of what we do, driving in runs and really get our offense going. He'll be a big presence in the middle of the lineup. Then Brad Giroux, who was a big spark for us last year coming in, that hit towards the bottom of the lineup, but played great defensively in right field for us, and he'll be in the mix there again, along with Caleb King. Caleb can DH. He'll play mostly left field when he's in there. If he's in the lineup, then Jared will go to right. If Brad's in the lineup, Jared will be in right, Jared will be in left, and Brad would be in right. So I like where our outfield's at, along with some other guys that can go out there and fill in and help us there too. And Brad can also play center field if something happens with Ronnie. So we like that part of it. And then the corner of the infield, Jake Ingold's going to be in the mix somewhere in there, either at third or first. He'll also catch some for us too, DH for us mostly last year, but he's got to have another good year for us offensively and, cut down his strikeouts, and he'll be the middle of the lineup guy. In there with Jared and Michael and be in the mix there. And then Kevin Dupree at first base gives us a left-handed bat, hopefully, again, that can give us some punch and some pop. But he can also, Ingold can move to first base, and that opens it up for Kevin Sullivan, freshman infielder that I feel like is going to be a middle infielder in the future, but right now may have to fill in at third base and be a defensive guy over there. Austin Norell's been battling some injuries, which has slowed him down as a corner infielder and as a catcher, but he's an offensive presence for us as well. So feel good about the corners. We got to get the pieces right there too, and health depends on a little bit on how that part of it goes too.
Yeah, as you work through January to try to get ready for an opener, which you have at Jacksonville coming up on Friday night. You can simulate pitching, you can simulate hitting, but being able to get out, take ground balls, and to hone your defensive skills, is that the hardest part about getting ready to open the season in where we happen to be climate-wise?
It is. It's tough, and you've just got to go out and you got to battle the elements. We're not in Jacksonville, Florida. I know their weather is going to be way ahead of us. They've been out probably maybe a little bit more, but we go out. I mean, it doesn't matter. On Monday after groundhog luncheon, how cold it was, we went out and played 6 innings in it. But you have to keep your pitchers in rotation of what they need to do. And you hit the nail on the head. You have to get ground ball work, and you have to get that consistency of doing it over and over and over and over again. And if you don't have that, that's what gets you behind. So we've been fortunate. The weather's been better this spring than it's been last spring. So I feel like we're in better shape from that end of it. But, it's still not 60 and sunny every day. But our guys have done a good job of kind of toughing it out and being out there every day.
Just curious, now that the football field is flat, have you all been able to take advantage of that now?
We have. I mean, anytime it's questionable over here, we go over there. I mean, whether it's to long toss, whether it's to take ground balls, whether it's to do defensive work, our defensive period or whatever we want to do, we've been very, very lucky to have that now the way that it is. It's been a big, big plus for us. So utilizing the football turf and then getting out here when we can, I feel like we've done as much as we could do leading up to the start.
We talked about the defensive side. Thoughts about how your order is going to go? I know you won't make a decision because you've still got several practices to go and BP in Florida and see how everybody loosens up. But how do you feel about that right now?
Well, I feel good about the top part of it. Piecing together the middle to the bottom is always a challenge. Some is going to depend if we face a right-hander or a left-hander as far as how we adjust and how we go. But Delgado will lead off again. I feel most comfortable with him there. Not from a stolen base standpoint, but walks, working the count, getting on base. I mean, I feel really good about that. Bryant,
kind of like another good middle infielder we used to have, like Mr. Rennick, who was great at the top of the order.
Exactly right, and the Clay Snellgroves and people like that. That's the kind of guys you want to have at the top that can set the table and get on base for the Jared Allens of the world. But feel good about where Dustin's at, and we got experience there. I think Austin Bryant will slide into the 2 slot, and I think he'll be able to handle the bat and do a lot of different things for us there. And then Jared Allen, we're going to move him up to 3 after hitting 4 all of last year just to get that extra at bat, each time that it comes around. And, then after that, piecing that middle together with Michael Adkins, Ingold, Caleb King, getting those guys mixed in there. Norrell, if he's healthy, will fit into that, 4, 5, 6 spots. And then Ronnie Jabavi, hitting in that 7, Dupree and Giroux maybe hitting a little bit more towards the bottom, especially Dupree early on against left-handers will probably hit 7, 8 hole to get him a little bit more experience there to get it going. And same way that if Sullivan's in the lineup, freshman, left-handed hitter, depending on who we're facing, tremendous speed, but got to be careful. He'll probably be a little bit more towards the bottom.
Yeah, potentially some good pop in that line.
And that's what we want. We want to spread that out a little bit. We got to cut our strikeouts down from last year to go along with the pop, but I think we can drive in runs and get some things done with those guys. And, hopefully, again, those pieces start to fall together, and some of that will take care of itself as guys get hot, cold, and who we're facing and where we're at. But again, I like our depth and where we're at from that end of it. We're a little bit thin behind the plate because of injuries going in, but the rest of it, I think we're in pretty good shape.
All right. Well, that's a look at offense and defense right now for the Blue Raiders as they get ready for a weekend series at Jacksonville. One more video to go on our countdown series. That'll be coming up tomorrow, and we'll talk schedule, we'll talk the weekend series with Coach Jim McGuire. Thanks for joining us today on GoBlueRaiders.com.